Welcome to Powercoat Music. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about the Alesis HR-16 drum machine and why I still use it. The Alesis HR-16 drum machine was introduced back in 1987, way before even some of you were even born. And when it arrived, it provided the general masses with a truly high quality drum machine at a great price, which was roughly $700 retail. Now, it wasn't the hottest looking drum machine on the market, but all in all, this device was a true game changer. Now check this out. Hit songs that use the Alesis HR-16 were reported to be Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen, My Prerogative by Bobby Brown, and Until You Come Back to Me by Basha, just to name a few. The HR-16 sound capabilities included 16 independent drum voices, each of which can be assigned to any of the 49 digital samples. Now they can be routed to a 7-position pan to any one of the 2 sets of stereo outputs that are on the back of the unit. All voices can also be tuned in 32 increments over a 1.5 octave range. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, this drum machine was a straight up bargain, and its lifelong partner is the Alesis MMT8 multi-track sequencer. Now, both of these devices were the dynamic duo in my studio for many years. For more on the MMT8 multi-track sequencer, check out my video, Alesis MMT8 multi-track MIDI recorder and why I use it, on this channel. The HR-16 has a built-in sequencer with 100 patterns and 100 songs. All of the drum sounds can be tuned and have individual volume controls for mixing. The unit is a 16-voice polyphonic unit, which means that up to 16 sounds can be used on each pattern. Now, these patterns can be programmed in either step mode or real time. The unit also includes an external click input and MIDI in, out, and through. With this, the HR-16 can still easily integrate into your home studio setup today. Now, to hear a demo, because I know a lot of you are waiting to hear some of what this thing can do, if you want to hear it in action, check out my video, Civil Allen, Vision of Your Voice. It's the official music video HD on this channel. The drums and the percussion in this video and the song are all the Alesis HR-16, and that should give you a great idea of what this thing can still do. Now let's take a look at the features and the front panel functionality of the HR-16. The first button is the quantize button, and this sets the resolution at which the drum events will be recorded. The next is the length button. This is used to set the specified number of beats for a pattern. Next is copy. Now this appends a pattern or song to another pattern or song. Here's the offset button. This adds or subtracts a number of clock pulses to a pattern. The swing button changes the ratio of rhythmic values for a shuffle feel. The delete button is used in conjunction with other buttons for functionality, and the same is true of the insert button. It's also used in conjunction with other buttons for functionality. The song button takes you into song mode. The erase button deletes a single drum pattern, or should I say drum pattern or song. The tape button accesses the tape interface for the unit. The fill button allows repeated patterns without manually having to add them. MIDI utility accesses other low-level MIDI support functions. The tempo button changes the speed or pattern of a song naturally. The mix button changes the volume, panning, and output assignments. The tune button selects the pitch for each drum pad. The voice button changes the drum pad sounds. Now let's take a look at the back of the unit. First, we have a 1/4 inch left-right output set, and then we have, for the second set of outputs, another 1/4 inch left-right output set. We have an 1/8 inch tape in and out area, a start-stop foot switch input. We have our MIDI out, our MIDI in. We have our power adapter connector, and then lastly our power switch. Let's take a look at the Alesis HR-16's technical specifications. As you can see on the front of the unit, at the bottom of the unit, we have 16 velocity sensitive drum pads. Let's move on to the sounds. As you can see, we have 10 bass drums, 7 snares, 5 toms, 2 open hi-hats, 1 closed hi-hats, 3 cymbals, and then after that we move on to some of the percussion sounds that the unit has. Now keep in mind, this unit was released back in the late 80s, and for that time this was a pretty nice setup. Moving on, all the samples are 16-bit. The unit has 100 patterns, great for arranging the 100 songs. The unit has no onboard effects. It's 16 voice polyphony, and it has MIDI in and out. There's no MIDI through. I think I made a mistake earlier and I said that there was a MIDI through on the back of the unit. There is not. There's no MIDI through. However, it does have sys-x, MIDI note assignment, MIDI echo, and MIDI program change. Unit also has tape sync and a click for both play and record, along with a start and stop foot switch input. In 1989, Alesis then released the HR-16B model. The HR-16B included a whole new set of sounds that were primed and cool enough for techno and electronic music. I love that machine. At that time, when it was released, the HR-16B's price was the same as the HR-16. The HR-16 is gray and the HR-16B is black. However, I have seen over the years some HR-16s that were also black. Another cool and relevant feature of both models are their ability to sync to virtually any multi-track recorder without the need for additional hardware. Now, for details on how this is done, I know you're going to want to know, check out my video, Tascam DP24 SD Digital Porta Studio Sync to MIDI, no additional hardware required. Watch that video on this channel to get the scoop on how to do that. In recent years, the HR-16 has enjoyed a bit of a renaissance. These units have become the drum machine of choice for the circuit bending crowd. There are a lot of sellers on Reverb who offer these heavily modded units for sale, so check it out if you're interested. Now, one last awesome thing about these units is that there are independents out there who make chips for the device that turn them into very good emulations of other vintage famous drum machines like the Roland TR-808 and the Lin LM1. At the very least, the HR-16 or I should say the HR-16B would be a nice addition to your drum arsenal as a sound source for additional layers or just to recapture that 80s or 90s sound in your songs that require that authentic touch. Well, that's a wrap. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and click the subscribe button on your screen now to join our group. We have new videos generally coming out around every 7 to 10 days. And leave a comment in the comment section to let us know how you feel about this video. And along with that, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. And while you're here, listen to some of the other music, check out the other videos and playlists, and let us know what you think about that. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.